Welcome to Dark Souls Remastered. I think history is being made. I must be the first person on this website to ever let's play this sleeper underground hit that no one's ever heard of. Never been done before. First ever Dark Souls LP. No, but seriously, I rather appreciate how big Dark Souls has become, because there was, of course, that label of it being like the nichest thing ever. But it really isn't anymore. Dark Souls has gotten so much popularity, and it's pretty damn cool that it has. So I've been waiting, like, this entire generation, to be perfectly honest, for this remaster, because we're in that era now. I mean, granted, 7th gen had its fair share of, like, HD re-releases of, like, PS2 era games, but this generation's been real nuts with remasters, and from the very beginning, I ever felt like, if there's any game from last generation that really, really needs it, it's been Dark Souls, because quite honestly, as great as the game is, the PS3 and 360 versions kinda weren't that great. They really undersold what was an awesome game. And then even the PC port was really lazy and not that good. It took Durante adding DS fix to make it actually fun and playable. Alright, everything here should be good, but they added a new feature for Remastered called the UI scale. And you can make the user interface smaller, but I'm not going to touch that until I actually have my UI on the screen. Actually, I might turn down, or I'll turn up voices. Turn down sounds like right there. That might be too low, I'm not sure. It's just that Bloodborne's mixing was so messed up. Sound effects were way too loud in that game, so now I'm really wary of it in Dark Souls. I don't know what's going on here. So we have button assignments, but you can't mess with most of them. What I'm not seeing, and I expected to see, was the potential to toggle the jump button. In Dark Souls 1, Demons, as well as Bloodborne, jumping was mapped to tapping the circle button twice, but Dark Souls 2 made it clicking in the left stick. And then DS3 had it as a toggle. You could make it whichever one you preferred. And I'm not seeing that, and I'm disappointed. Okay, time to make the character. Let's see, I have a name for this guy, if I can fit it. Well, first of all, we're going to be male. There's our name slot, it's the empty space at the top. Good old PS4 UI. Give me a second here to find out how many characters I have available to me, and if I can fit a good name in here for him. Okay, there's the stupid anime name I've given my character. It's an anagram for chosen undead. Hahaha, I'm so clever. I'm not, I'm embarrassed, but we're rolling with it. It's happening. Alright, starting classes. Let's actually read what this shit says. Warrior, fearless warrior, weapon expert, high strength, dexterity. The knight, low ranking knight, high HP, solid armor, not easily toppled. The wanderer, aimless wanderer, wields scimitar, high dexterity. The thief, guilt-ridden thief, high critical hits, has the master key. Savage bandit, high strength, wields heavy battle axe. The hunter, bow-wielding hunter, okay at close range, but weak with magic. The sorcerer, sorcerer of Vinheim, dragon school, casts soul sorceries. The pyromancer, swamp pyromancer, casts fire spells and wields a hand axe. The cleric, cleric on pilgrimage, wields a mace and casts healing miracles. And the deprived, unclothed enigma, only armed with club and old planked shield. I like that he's an enigma. So, out of all of these, like, I guess if you've never played the game, I would probably recommend going with the knight. That's this is the character that's like in the demo videos that FromSoftware has been putting out. I would also, well, I say that's kind of like your default starting class, but that said, the Pyromancer's kind of considered the newbie class, because he starts off at soul level 1, he has a good arrangement of stats, he has a decent attunement, so he comes with, I can't remember if it's 1 or 2 slots, but you can like quickly use the Pyromancy Flame, and you can turn them into whatever you want. You don't have to stick to strictly Pyromancy, of course. But for me, I'm going to go with the Cleric, because I know I'm going to be using Miracles. And I would really like that starting out 14 Faith. your gift. So you get one item that you get to take with you. Goddess Blessing, Divine Holy Water, fully restores HP and status. This is a one-time consumable item. Black Firebomb, explodes upon impact when thrown. More deadly than STD Bomb, standard bomb. I was like, STD Bomb? That sounds terrible. Than the standard Firebomb. And I believe this is actually more than one. I think they give you a few. This can be a very useful starting item if you want to get a very decent strength weapon very early in the game. Twin Humanities, tiny sprite called Humanity, sometimes found on carcasses. So this is another consumable item. We will get into what Humanity does if you're not familiar. So you can get 2 to start off with. Binoculars, used to peer at faraway sights. The binoculars are cool, and I will probably be using them, but getting them as a starting class or a gift item, not very useful because they're actually findable very, very early in the game, like within the first 20 minutes. The Pendant, a trinket, no effect, but fond memories comfort travelers. The pendant does literally nothing. It's nothing. It's just a memento item. And there's a very infamous quote or interview or something years ago with the president of FromSoftware, the director of this game, Miyazaki, where he said the pendant would be the item that he would pick as his starting gift. And people kind of wondered well, does the pendant have a bigger, more grand meaning? Is there a purpose for it in the game that people haven't figured out yet? And the answer is no. It's nothing. Although there is a way to get the pendant. You can't find it normally. It's typically only as a starting gift, but you can, I believe, get it in another unconventional way later in the game if you just want to have that self-satisfaction of having every unique item in your inventory. The Master Key opens any basic lock, initial equip for the thief. So if you're picking the thief, you obviously don't need to choose the Master Key as your gift as well. This is very, very tempting. I have been pondering this, and I really thought I might take the Master Key. So I would never recommend a new player to get the Master Key because while it sounds really cool, open any basic lock, wow, that sounds really useful. What this really means is that you can sequence break the game with it. And it isn't so much for going to harder areas and fighting certain bosses earlier as much as it is for picking up certain items and certain weapons and armor sets quicker than you would be able to otherwise. So for me personally, if I were to pick this thing, I would immediately go get the armor set I know that I want and a particular weapon that I know that I want. But that said, I'm going to pass on it. I think we'll go with a more traditional route. Perhaps if I was playing by myself, I would get the Master Key. Tiny Being's Ring, Special Tribal Ring, grants small increased HP. I think this has been rewritten. This stupid ring, I think it said something different originally in the original release, and it made it sound as though you regenerated hit points with this thing on. Something like that. And which it doesn't do that. It does what it says here. It gives you a small increase to hit points. Very small. I think it's 5%. It's really not important. You don't need it. And finally, the Old Witch's Ring. Gift from a witch. Ancient ring with no obvious effect. Well, I know what its effect is. And for a new player, I'd say don't worry about it. But for me, for us, it's actually pretty useful for this format for a Let's Play. So I think I'm going to be taking this thing. There is another way to obtain the Old Witch's Ring, but I wouldn't be able to do it as early as I like. So I'm going to choose it as the starting gift. Now, physique, I'm not going to get too far into this because, and I doubt it's any different here, why would it be? But there's a well-known problem in Dark Souls and FromSoftware's character creator, where if you change the physique too far from the standard, it kind of makes armor look like crap on your character. So I'm going to just play on average. Alright, face. Oh, right. This is the only game that does this. Ooh, how fun. So in addition to all these descriptions, there's little lore notes about where these characters come from. So your options here are really confusing because it's what do these mean? What does dubious Kareem mean? What's a jubilant Katarina? Well, these are kind of skin tones and races, but how the heck are you supposed to know without picking them? It's very weird. So the commoner is a very average common face. Delta farmer, commonly seen face in the Five Finger Delta. Now, some of these descriptions name places or things that I don't think ever get brought up anywhere else. I don't know if I've ever read that term, Five-Finger Delta, in any other Souls game. I could be wrong. I am not a Souls expert. I didn't graduate from Dark Souls U or even Dark Souls State. You know, I've got like my Dark Souls GED. Maybe I graduated from Dark Souls Tech or Dark Souls A&M. So I'm not an expert, but I know enough. Astora Noble, handsome face of the refined, common in Astora. Well, that's a place that I know. Dragon Scholar, intelligent, sharp lines, but scholarly looks invite insult. Intelligent, sharp lines, but scholarly looks invite insult. Okay. So in other words, you're a big nerd. I would take this, this might be what you want to pick if you're going to be a sorcerer, perhaps. Thurland Cleric. Now this is kind of more up my alley given that I've picked a cleric. Look common in Thurland, known for its stalwart clerics. Now Thurland is also a place that I know of and have heard. Jubilant Katarina. Ooh, FromSoftware. No. Jovial features of Katarina, known for festivity and drink. No. FromSoftware, come on. Dubious Kareem. Ominous features associated with the Earl of Kareem. I've read of Kareem. I've heard that place sucks. Classic Xena. Thoughtful, mature face common in historical Xena. I don't know much about that place. The Eerie Great Swamp. Great Swamp heretics face prejudice for their atypical looks. Oh, so you're a little kind of Asian there. Yeah, swamp people, namely pyromancers, they're not too popular in terms of like where they fit in the Dark Souls universe. Far East Traveler. Face from a distant eastern land of almond eyes and thin lips. Well, I feel like just taking the commoner. I'm nobody. I am straight white male. I'm the vanillest vanilla there's ever been. Oh, hair. No, I don't want shaved. Nor do I want receding. I'm not going bald. Thank God, that's like the one thing I get going for me right now. Swept back. Ponytail. Wild. Parted center. Semi-long. Curly. And bobbed. Oh, if you want to have a terrible haircut. Let's go with the most boring thing imaginable. We're never going to see this character's face. Almost ever. So you got black. Oh, this is the hair color. Black, dark brown, light brown, dark red, dark blue, gray, gold, silver, dark purple, and red. Yeah, let's go dark brown. I think my hair is even darker brown than that, but it is technically brown. So if you hit customize, you can get into even crazier granular detail. You can create your wrestler here. It gets a little nuts actually. Like what is your hormone scale? It makes you more masculine or feminine. You have features, masculinity. Don't hit the random button. Hair. Go to customize. Look at this crazy shit. Mouth. Cheekbone asperity. Nasolabial fold. Okay, this is ridiculous. And for as much crazy detail as they put into this thing, FromSoftware's character creators have never been very good. So it's like, why did they bother so hard? I guess you're looking at kind of a simulation of how they actually make character models, so they can get as crazy as possible with it if they really want to. That said, it's not going to matter in about a minute, or at least, you know, a minute into part 1, because this has been part 0. So I didn't want to waste time in part 1, which is the character creator and the title screen, and talking about Dark Souls. So, in part 1, we start up the game. Remember, this is a no judgment free zone, except for me. You can judge me all you want, because I'm going to die. I'm going to mess up at times. I will get a thing or two, at least, wrong with lore. I will miss an item, or God, I hope I don't miss an NPC invasion. I have a bookmark on my phone so I don't miss them, but it could very well happen. but I will try to give the best experience. That said, no judgment zone in terms of you. Obviously Dark Souls is really popular. There's a good chance that if you even clicked on this video, you're super familiar with Dark Souls. You played it on your console or you played it on your PC. You're playing this version possibly. But what if you're not? Well, that's fine. That's totally fine. There's still that divide for as popular as Dark Souls has become. There's still that divide of people who aren't interested in it or can't do it or just don't want to do it themselves. Whatever the case is, I hope that you enjoy the ride because it's for those people. If you've never played the game yourself and you just want to say, I like you, Scott. I'd like to see you play it. You knock yourself out, then fine. Welcome to the show. No judgment. I will give you the best ride through Lordran that I possibly can. So get out your notebook. We're going over Creation Myth at the start of part 1. See you guys there.